Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newsgram. Everyone has a story to tell. I mean, you have led a fascinating life. But being able to share that story, well, that is something else entirely. Because while we all have a story to tell, we aren't all natural-born storytellers. Today on Newsgram, we're going to spotlight one of those storytellers, and her name is Donna Clovis. No, hold on. It's Dr. Donna Clovis.
These older people that were 100, 104, 105, and all of a sudden they started telling me their stories. And I was like, oh my God, I've got to record their stories.
And so she did. And while I do not hold a doctorate, we do share a love of documentaries and good storytelling. Dr. Donna has written at least 8 different books, and if you Google her, you'll see what I'm talking about.
That's the beauty in this. There's a story. And there's a story that we tell together, and we can't tell it without each other.
I heard the word highlights the other day, and a fun memory popped into my mind. I was at the dentist, which isn't the fun memory, but I was there in the waiting room, and that's where I discovered Highlights magazine, probably like you. And I just loved it. There were so many cool things in there. Now, I won't go so far as to say that Highlights magazine changed my life, but it did have a profound impact on Donna's.
I was 8 years old, and I loved to read highlights. And my first piece of writing in poetry was on highlights. And from there, I just kept writing and writing and writing, and it just hasn't ended.
Since she was 8 years old, she's been writing, and now she's all grown up with a ton of stories to share about people and history and culture, most of them in and around Princeton. Her newest book is just out, and it's called The Kingfisher. What's it about, Dr. Donna?
Well, I think about this. It says the twilight is legendary. It's the first blue moon since 1944, and it arrives at Princeton University on October 31st, 2020. And in this moment, you realize, I took you to a place where your mind becomes a book. It is the story of Kingfisher, a savior for black mankind, and Mama, the voice of the lullaby that cries to save him from the knee of the police, like George Floyd. Mama cries to protect her life, his breath, and you, the reader, participate in this special quest.
If you're a fan of historical fiction and great storytelling, I think you'll enjoy The Kingfisher. Find it wherever you like to shop for books. And that will do it for this week's edition of Newsgram.